Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimeler, and it's almost December of 2024, which means another year has almost come. Well, it's come, then it's almost gone. So for those in the US, happy Thanksgiving. I know you had a wonderful time with your families and just friends, families, friends that have become families, whatever you do. I hope you had a wonderful day. And now we're going to talk about December 2024 and what we can expect this last month of this year, and see where it's going to take us and see what's going on. We do have a lot of stuff going on. We are currently in the middle of Mercury retrograde. It will be retrograde until December 15th. So just know, hopefully, Thanksgiving plans weren't too impacted. Hopefully, there wasn't too many delays since I'm recording this the day before, 2 days before Thanksgiving for y'all. So, anyways, December. I love December. December's a great month. It's a great month to kind of take the time and do a year in review and see what you've accomplished this year. It's so easy with how busy all of our lives are to just totally forget what's happened this year, what's gone on. So it can be a great time to do, what went well this year? What wins did you have? What didn't go as planned? What lessons did you learn? What do you want to adjust moving forward? Are there relationships that are no longer serving you? Just the best time to do this reflection is actually December 1st to 15th while Mercury is still retrograde. Because remember, retrogrades are about reflecting, they're about going within, they're about, reassessing, resetting. So this can actually be a really powerful time to kind of look at kind of year in review, 2024 in your year in review. Write it in a notebook, whatever works for you, whatever you want to do. But make notes. I kind of have a journal that I started keeping a couple years ago that I can keep track of stuff because I find for myself, I forget what I've done. And so on those days where you may be feeling down or low, it's really nice to be able to go back and be like, oh my gosh, I have accomplished stuff. I had made progress. It's not just, you know, the rat race, which sometimes it feels like it can just be the rat race. But I would encourage you to take the time, think through this, and write it down. Then, after doing that year in review, it's time to look forward the end of the month, after the 15th when Mercury goes direct. We will have Mars retrograde at that point, but I think it'll still be that end of the month, a great time to really look at what do you energetically want to put out to the universe for 2025. It's kind of that time to start thinking about the intentions you want for the next year. What do you want to leave in 2024 and what do you not want to take with you into 2025? I know there's the same things, but people hear things differently. So you're getting it multiple ways. Could be anything from a belief holding you back, a habit that isn't serving you, a person who's too negative or unsupportive of your life and goals. Just be honest with yourself and dream big. What does your soul want in 2025? So, as I said, do that after Mercury goes direct on the 15th, maybe a couple days after that. So, just know we're great time to do that. But we are ending the year with a lot of energy. And then the first few months of 2025, I will just say, could be intense as well. We've got a lot of things going on between now and basically April of 2025. We've got all the planets will be retrograde at one point or another. We have Mars retrograde in December into the new year. Then next year, we're going to have a Venus retrograde, which only happens like every 18 months. So just a lot going on. It's all going to be what you make it. It's all going to be how you view things, and it's all going to be based on your personal chart. But I'm going to give you high level on at least the stuff happening in December, and then we'll talk about the other stuff as we get closer to it. So, December 1st, we have a new moon in Scorpio in the lunar mansion of Anurata. And new moons are a time of fresh starts and new beginnings. This new moon can bring with it spiritual energy because it is occurring in the natural eighth house of the zodiac, which is Scorpio. So it can be a time of transformation, which is interesting. It's happening the last month of the year, which is about the time it kind of sort of happens every year around this time because new moons are when the sun and the moon are conjunct in a sign. So every time sun is in Scorpio, when we get the new moon in Scorpio. So time of transformation, it can bring a focus on your goals kind of as we power through this last month of 2024. While I would say this is normally a great time, new moons are normally a great time to begin new projects with Mercury retrograde. I would not recommend beginning new projects right now. I would really take this time to just keep enhancing projects, reviewing projects, see what projects you might have not finished that you want to kind of bring back to the forefront and finish. So keep that in mind. December 2nd, Venus is going to transit into Capricorn, and it will stay there until December 28th. Venus and Saturn, who owns Capricorn, are really friendly with each other. They get along. So Venus and Capricorn can bring a more serious and grounded approach to love and relationships. This transit can bring the ability to dream big while still remaining grounded in reality and seeing the potential obstacles that could be faced, but then also allowing you to plan different approaches and different options. For some, this transit could bring light to the need for consistency and how being consistent in actions can help you achieve your goals. Venus in Capricorn kind of seeks that stability and practicality. So your choices may be less impulsive as it relates to relationships and making decisions around business. But the other thing with this transit is it really brings the discipline needed to begin healthy eating habits before headed into a new year. So I know everyone always does New Year's resolutions. Well, sometimes New Year's isn't the best time to start. Sometimes based on our charts, there's different times of year that are actually better to start those new habits and those new, I hate to use the word diets, but that new change of lifestyle than others. So just know for some, this can actually be the transit needed to get that discipline. Also, great energetic influence to get a massage or find a good massage therapist, take exercise classes, or even update your wardrobe, but still stay within budget because you're going to have that grounding energy of Saturn maintaining Venus's, so it doesn't get out of control. December 7th, Venus is going to be conjunct Pluto. Remember, I use sidereal, so Pluto is very much still alive and well in Capricorn in the sidereal calculations. This conjunction of Venus and Pluto can bring deep emotional connections, but it can also create intensity and power struggles in personal relationships. So just know it can be an intense energy, but the good news is it's a quick transit because Venus is moving so quickly. December 6th, I've kind of alluded to this one, but Mars is going to be stationing and turning retrograde at 12 degrees of Cancer. Now, Mars retrograde only happens every 2 years and it lasts about 2 months every time. This time, Mars is not staying in just one sign. It's kind of hopping back and forth between Cancer and then it'll retrograde back into Gemini. So the good news is Mars is weak in Cancer. Cancer kind of brings down some of the Mars energy. There's less energy to fight. The problem is there's less energy because Mars is energy. So you may, if you're feeling a little more tired, this Mars in Cancer can be part of the problem. So Mars is going to be in Cancer until January 21st, where it retrogrades back into Gemini. And I believe I just said it, but January 21st, 2025 is when it transits back into Gemini. And then it will be retrograde until Mars is retrograde until February 23rd of 2025, when it will station direct at 22 degrees of Gemini. And just know it's then going to hop back in to Cancer at some point in 2025, which we will talk about as we get closer to 2025, because I don't want to overwhelm you with dates at this time because I've already given you a bunch. So we're just know it leaves Cancer on January 21st to go back into Gemini, and then after it stations, it'll start moving forward again. It'll move quickly and it'll move into Cancer again. But again, I will always give that in the newsletters. If you're part of my newsletter group or you watch these videos, you'll have that information. So Mars retrograde is a time that can be less than ideal to begin new projects, or you may find yourself procrastinating more than normal, which is probably magnified by the holidays. For a lot of us who, we see people just get busy and not want to focus on work so much right now. So just know that procrastination is probably going to be a thing. So you're going to have to work to offset that. So again, as I mentioned, Mars retrograde, less inclined to take action, at least while it's in the Cancer side. But also Mars retrograde in general, it's not putting out all of its energy as it would when Mars is moving direct. There can be this more tiredness and lower self-esteem. So it's just going to be really important to get a lot of exercise and movement during this retrograde period, which will allow you to release any emotions, kind of keep you going, keep you from help you avoid any sudden outbursts. Just know, give yourself grace and really make sure you don't have conversations while you are mad. So I said it in November when we were getting ready for Mercury retrograde, put your patience pants on. This still holds true. Don't take them off. Just keep them on. Should probably have a couple pairs because you're just going to need them. So keep that in mind. December 7th to 8th, the moon will be transiting in Aquarius with Saturn. And these two planets really have opposite energies. So the energy can feel a bit heavier. It can bring a wave of feeling lonely or disconnected. This conjunction energy can be good for doing processes that need to be exact, which can include business processes, technical writing, or an explanation of engineering. This does, because of how fast the moon happens, remember, this transit is going to happen every month as the moon transits past Saturn once a month at this point. So it's a passing influence unless you have this conjunction in your natal chart, and then you may have those energies more often than other people. December 15th, mark this day in your calendar. There's a lot going on December 15th. I'm just going to say that right now. We've got 3 different events happening that day based on my time zone, which is Eastern time, because I am on the East Coast of the United States. So lots. We have a full moon that day. We have Mercury stationing to turn direct, and then the sun's going to transit into a new sign. So let's break those down. Let's talk about them. So the full moon on December 15th is going to be at 29 degrees of Taurus in the lunar mansion of Mrigashira. This is the final full moon of 2024. And full moons are a time where you can celebrate achievements, which I think fits beautifully with the year-end review that I mentioned at the start of this. Full moons can bring more intense emotion. They can bring more vivid dreams. So if you are someone who's prone to dreaming, which charts show, just know they may be more vivid around the 15th. Pay attention to them, write them down, kind of figure out the symbolism and the meanings. But they can also be a great time to release and let go of anything that no longer aligns with your path. And because this is occurring in the lunar mansion of Mrigashira, you may feel more restless and just the need to move. So don't make any impulsive decisions under this full moon, and make sure you're getting outside, get fresh open air to really maintain your balance and grounding. The other good thing about December 15th is Mercury will be going direct on December 15th, which is always a wonderful feeling. It's going to bring fresh energy, and things that have felt like they've been at a standstill the past few weeks will begin to move forward at that time. Now, because Mercury retrograded in Scorpio, we're still going to have that Mars-Mercury energy because Scorpio is ruled by Mars until January 4th of 2025. So combined with that energy, we still need to use caution while driving. It's also still that need to be mindful of your communication, as Mercury in Scorpio can make your communication just seem a bit feistier and a little more aggressive than you may intend it to be. So just don't pick any fights. And then the last transit on December 15th is the sun transiting into Sagittarius. The sun will be in Sagittarius until January 13th of 2025. One of the things that anytime we have a planet that crosses from Scorpio into Sagittarius, it's going to pass through that sensitive karmic knot of Gandanta. And so the sun will pass through the Gandanta point December 14th to 16th. Remember, this can bring emotional intensity and the potential for intense storms. So keep that in mind. It can once the sun is in Sagittarius, it's a time where we can get innovative ideas. Really be sure you write them down, though, because you may not actually take action on them until after Mars goes direct again in February. With the sun in Sagittarius as well, you will feel more enthusiastic, you may have more energy, and it really can bring the ability to communicate directly with others, but in a more friendly way. Now, with all the other energy of Mercury and Mars's sign and Mars retrograde And then this, it could be some mixed energy. So I still say watch your communication, just be very mindful of it. If somebody's coming at you, step away and have the conversation at another time so you don't pick a fight with them. December 16th to 31st, Saturn is going to square Jupiter within a 1-degree orb. They will be exactly squared on December 25th. So for those that celebrate Christmas, that is Christmas Day. This aspect of Saturn squaring Jupiter can force us to examine our lives and limits and really push us to restructure those things that are not working. I always say we can use this energy in our favor to create better time management. And this is a time to reevaluate our goals and plans. So again, this year-end review, this is a great time to start looking at 2025 and what you want to do in 2025. So keep that in mind. It's going to be really important not to overextend yourself, take some downtime, don't overcommit. There could be kind of create some fluctuating finances and a dip in our energy or delays in our goals with that square. But again, the close 1-degree orb is done December 31st. It's still going to be wide orb as long as Saturn is in Aquarius and Jupiter is in Taurus. So that's not going to change until March of next year in 2025. So we've got a lot that's going to planets changing signs next year as well, as a heads up. During this Jupiter-Saturn square, Saturn-Jupiter square, however you want to do it, I would definitely manage expenditures strictly and really be sure to create and stick to your budget. The key under this energetic focus influence is to really focus on Jupiter's creativity to offset the heaviness that Saturn brings. Because remember, Saturn and Jupiter are very different energies. They both have their positives, and they both bring positives to our charts, but it's just different because, Saturn wants us to do the hard work and take responsibility. So also doing that under that square will pay off in the long run, but Saturn's going to kind of offset some of the heaviness. December 28th, Venus is going to transit into Aquarius, where it will be until January 27th of 2025. This transit can bring innovation to your ideas. You may find yourself reevaluating your relationships and personal values from a more objective perspective. There can be a focus on intellectual connections. There may be this more open-mindedness, curiosity, and a willingness to explore new ideas, which can actually strengthen relationships. So this is really a time to celebrate the uniqueness of individuals. We all bring our own strengths, and that's what we need to focus on, and we need to use that in our favor. So keep that in mind. December is going to close out with the same way that we started the month, with a new moon. So it's going to be the second new moon in December. This new moon is going to be at 15 degrees of Sagittarius in the lunar mansion of Purvashada. It's a time to be mindful, as you could be blind to your own flaws and maybe a little more confrontational than normal. Again, Mercury will still be in a Mars-ruled sign. And add to it, at this point, Mars will be getting closer to, but it's still retrograde. Mars is still retrograde at this point. So take this new moon, reset, and get ready for a new year to begin. That being said, let's look at the sign predictions for each of the 12 signs. Remember, these are broad, high level. I don't know your personal charts. If you want to talk about your unique chart and get your yearly review, which can be a great time to do it as we head into January, I'll put a link below this video, as well as a link to sign up for the newsletter if you're interested in that. So let's just jump on in. Aries, this can be a great time to look inward and be honest with yourself about anything that comes to mind. You could find yourself in deep and intellectual conversations that get you thinking in whole new ways, or in a whole new way. It doesn't have to be ways. It can be a singular way. You can find things that are working in your favorite work and in your professional life. And then you'll find that the energy this month kind of attracts people and circumstances that help you at work, and your working relationship should be running more smoothly this month as you want to work with others from a place of peace. So this is positive given all the other energy going on. Taurus, this is a great time to make sure expectations are clear with your spouse, your partner, or business partner. If you're facing a situation that requires the help of a specialist, like lawyers, accountants, CP, whatever, This is a great time to reach out and consult with them on how to proceed. You will find that you have some form of experience this month that leads to your own personal growth. This could come in various forms, and it's not necessarily a bad experience. So don't get worried. Sometimes it's really good experiences. So for you, this can be a great time to go out and enjoy a museum or concert that isn't in your normal wheelhouse to expand your horizons. And it can be a good month for a vacation, but make it someplace new that you've never been. So again, you can expand those horizons. Gemini, you will be focused on health and work this month. You can be more detail oriented right now and capable of managing work that requires more brain power. You are focused on getting the practical work done. Be cautious as you can be more critical of others this month, and you may find you're more focused on your health and improving it. You could also find that you gain money through your spouse, a business partner, or even through some other means, such as an institution, without extra effort on your part this month, as long as you've left your house and you're not just sitting there eating ho-hos or Twinkies or whatever the candy of choice is these days. This can be a good month to apply for a loan if you need one. Do not apply if you do not need one. And again, remember, also charts are very different, so get your charts looked at as well. You'll find yourself learning more about how you relate to others this month as well. Cancer, this is a great time to express your thoughts both honestly to yourself and others, but be sure you are doing so diplomatically and not in an aggressive manner. This is a great time to make it clear where you stand and what you are thinking. Be sure you are still being sensitive to others, as you could really enjoy pulling pranks this month that affect others more negatively than you think they're going to. So think that through before you pull any pranks. For you, relationships will be a focus as well, and you have the ability to keep a balance between a focus on yourself and those you encounter this month. If you are single, you could find a new love enters your life. If you are married or in a relationship, you're going to be able to express your love for your partner more freely. Now, if you're in conflict with someone in your life, this month's energies will allow you to make peace more easily. Use them in your favor. Because remember, Mars is retrograde. So, a little less fight in the Mars energy. Leo, you may find yourself going within to contemplate all the new ideas that you have encountered. This can be a good month for work and your relationship with coworkers and your boss. You have this desire to work with others, and if difficulties arise, you can get them resolved through listening and discussion with those individuals involved. On the home front, this can be a time where you need to make sure you and your partner are on the same page and in agreement. So don't just assume you all agree, have that conversation. Make sure you're on the same page. And it can also be a good time for your health, but be sure not to overindulge in sweet or fatty foods, especially as we head into the holidays. Virgo, you can find yourself meeting new people. You may find yourself busy with short trips, whether they be for work or fun. It is a great month to pursue intellectual activities. It can be a great time talking with others, but also truly listening to them. This is a great month to get out and have some fun, going to museums, concerts, anything else that falls in that entertainment world can be really great during this time. For you, it may be a time where you feel the need to express yourself more creatively. You will find that your self-discipline may not be as strong this month, so really be sure you don't get lazy and that you do meet all your commitments and keep those promises. It can be a good time for love relationships, whether you are single or married. So if you're single, you may meet someone during this transit. If married, just ensure you bring romance back into your relationship. Libra, you can find yourself in negotiations with others around property or money, or you may need to help others understand where you truly stand in terms of what you truly value. You can find yourself enjoying relaxing times at home, enjoying the peace, or inviting friends over at this time. This can be a time when you feel a need to redecorate your home. However, if this does happen, be sure that you stick within the budget you set for yourself. So set a budget, stick to it, because there could be a tendency to overspend this month for you. So other thing, especially with the holidays, because of how your chart is right now with transits, be cautious not to overindulge in food and drink this month. So the key word for you is going to be everything in moderation. Scorpio, you will find your mind more active this month. You may feel a need to get away and travel. It can be good to do a weekend trip to reset your energy and kind of scratch that itch, so to speak. Your mind may jump around from topic to topic very rapidly, which could confuse others. So just be sure that you stay aware. And if somebody looks at you like you have four heads, ask them if they need you to clarify anything. This month, everyday activities will be more enjoyable and agreeable. You could find your calendar booking up as your social life really kicks in, and you have an ability to see beauty in everyday things this month. So really soak them in. And you may find during this month that you are truly blessed and surrounded by love. So enjoy that, Scorpio. Sagittarius, you can find yourself desiring alone time to just do what you want and be with your own thoughts. It can be a great time to meditate. It may not be the best time to openly share your opinions, especially if you are doing so as a way to win others over or to win a battle. This month you can have the ability to take you down two different paths. And the choice is going to be yours. So it can be a time where you attract material possessions, money, and people, and you can see financial opportunities come your way. But there is a need to watch that you don't let extravagance and ego take over, and make sure you're spending this month as practical and with budget. So kind of that split way, and it's yours to decide. Capricorn, you will find yourself thinking about your goals and expectations. This can include analyzing them to see if they still resonate or ever resonated. If you find that your goals were actually goals placed on you by someone else, now can be a great time to think about what you want your goals to be moving forward, especially with that year-end review that you're going to do that I mentioned. This is a month where you will have the desire to relate to others. You will find you're more willing to compromise, which is required this month. And this is a great time to get together with friends, take a vacation, or do something fun. Aquarius, this can be a time where you find yourself making plans for your career. It can be a great time to learn new things related to your profession that will help you grow into the future. So really, we're looking at that future growth for your career. If you're curious about how to move up in your career, this can be a good time to have a conversation with your boss to better understand what's expected of you, what in order to achieve your goals, what they see as a need to improve. Again, also fits with the year-end review above, so keep that in mind. You could find yourself caring for others from a selfless place. Because I said selfless, the key is not to expect anything in return, as then it is not going to be a truly selfless love. So keep that in mind. You may find that if you've been struggling in your relationships, that the realities surface this month and are asking you to be honest with yourself. And the key is doing all you can this month so you don't look back and have regrets. Pisces, this can be a great time to learn something new or sign up for a class that's been catching your eye. You're more intellectually curious right now. It can be a good time to travel as well. You're more open to new ideas that come up in conversations and communications with others. And this can be a great month to get a group of friends together, do something fun. Whether it's inviting everyone over to your home for a get together or going out and doing something fun. Just take advantage of the energy. It can be a good month to attend a conference. I don't know how many conferences happen in December, but there's some. It can be a good month for that. Because you will do well in group settings. Now, that being said, there are other ways to be in group settings than just conferences, so keep that in mind. You will be feeling secure in yourself and more willing to help the group achieve their objectives. That is your December 2024 high-level sign predictions, as well as the insights at the start of this video. I hope all of you have a wonderful December. Remember, life is what you make it. It's a journey. We're all in this together. And so it's what we make it. It's how we view the world. It's how we approach relationships. It's how we approach our work. It's how we show up. So just know what you put out there energetically is what you are going to get back. And with that being said, I look forward to seeing everybody in the new year because, well, I guess I'll see you a little before because I usually do these before. But anyways, have a wonderful December and look out for the January newsletter that will come at the end of December. Until then, have a wonderful and happy holidays.